In Alaska, Parker Schnabel discovers what may be the richest gold mine. On the next episode of Gold Rush, he claims to have made the most crazy treasure ever. Will this be his greatest win or risk? Stop wasting time and start. Parker Schnabel is overworked managing 2 mines in different countries. He has had initial challenges in Alaska, but gold is bringing growth. His Yukon crew is rushing to mine the massive airfield claim before the season's water license expires. Everything must be stripped and paid for to mine everything left this year. Parker's crew has mined 48 of his 90 airfield acres, including the Keyhole, Easy Street, and Bear Cut. They are using Slucifer to run pay dirt from the 18-acre payback cut to the 24-acre runway cut, the largest and last cut. They must have 5 acres down to pay the next week before restarting Big Red, so it will wait until all the stripping is done. With only 1 wash plant, the runway cut is all hands on deck until stripped, except for 1 crew member. Tyson Lee drives the 750 excavator through the payback cut, while Parker handles the D11 and Mitch removes runway overburden with the 700. Given mounting barriers, staying ahead is a daily battle. Air from the 700 excavator suddenly smells like coolant, indicating difficulties. A broken radiator leaks coolant into the hot exhaust manifold, disrupting their plans. Needing replacement components quickly, Mitch calls Taylor. Tyson then departs his 750, leaving him with 480, reducing his ability to transfer Slucifer money. With just 480 digging paid, they risk running out of pay dirt and having nothing to process. Reducing the feed rate reduces gold flow, but it's better than shutting down the plant. With Slucifer decreased and Big Red off, mining all 90 acres is less likely. Crews are removing heavy dirt from the runway cut.
Tyson, do you have a copy? Tyson? Hey, there's a huge build-up in the pre-wash. I don't know what to do.
I'll get it.
They're loading it out without a place to transport it since it's late in the year to open 20 feet of dirt. Parker's crew is racing to clear the 24-acre runway cut to feed Big Red wash plant. Big Red waits on a mountain to wash rocks. If they had pay dirt now, it would work. Tyson is in a tough spot after taking the 750. But opening the ground is crucial to avoid leaving a lot of gold. Tyson is digging for cash to feed Slucifer in the 480, while Mitch's 700 excavator is being repaired. He has reduced Slucifer's feed rate and hopes not to make more changes, but Big Red comes first. However, Taylor arrives with wonderful news. The 700 radiator has been changed and is ready. This should restore their momentum. This machine has transported tons of soil and paying dirt to the wash facility. Tyson can feed Slucifer 220 yards per hour with the 750 back in service. They can process more pay dirt and extract more gold. The 750's return is a big relief, allowing normal operations. Parker's sole wash facility is back online, promising a better season finale. Mitch Blaschke is under pressure to move pay dirt at Parker Schnabel's Indian River claim before the season expires. Both Big Red and Slucifer wash plants operate 24/7, making feeding them essential. Mitch moved Evan, a young passionate rock truck driver, to loader operator to boost output. However, a big issue abruptly halts their progress. Evan finds many large pebbles in the sluice runs, forcing Big Red to stop. Big Red is down, so no gold being processed or money is coming in. But expenses are rising. Big Red must be fixed and working again when needed. Mitch and Tyson quickly discover a blown-out screen deck portion. Huge rocks in sluice runs indicate a large hole in the screen, which filters larger pebbles from finer pay dirt. Huge pebbles clog the opening runs when the screen breaks. Interrupting water flow prevents the guns from catching gold and washes away the sluice box end. The team tackles the tricky screen repair.
The other end of that goes right into the generator head, and it's cooked right off. I mean, this is the engine. This is what powers it.
Mitch says the material they're processing is quite sharp and aggressive. This caustic substance slowly erodes tiny screens, cutting them. The damaged screen is removed and replaced with a new one, fastened in place. The screen deck connection is crucial to gold mining. Screens separate larger boulders from finer pay dirt, allowing gold-rich material to be collected. Breaking screens lets big rocks fall through and clog sluice channels. This clog prevents the water from flowing properly, preventing the riffles from catching the gold, which washes out of the sluice box and is lost. Big Red needs to fix the screen to keep processing pay dirt efficiently. Mitch, Tyson, and the crew quickly fix the damage, emphasizing the screen deck's value. With the new screen, the crew restarts Big Red. The effective repair brings relief and satisfaction. Evan's rapid diagnosis saves the squad a lot of gold, proving his value. Over $90,000 is worth 51.6 ounces of runway cut gold. Running Big Red for a week might net $500,000 in gold. Slucifer has been efficient, digesting the chopped dirt and generating 336.05 ounces of gold, worth over $600,000. Parker's team is optimistic because both plants are running well. They appreciate being at the end of their huge mining activity and the effort required to move the wash plants. The crew wants to maximize the season and leave no gold behind as they reach the finish. Parker Schnabel's mining operation is running, but new challenges are straining the workers. Mitch is carefully processing a lot of pay dirt from Parker's Indian River claim before the season ends. Mitch has shifted Evan, a young, energetic crew member, from rock truck to loader to help meet demand at Big Red and Slucifer wash plants, which are open 24/7. Despite these achievements, Parker adds a major task. Parker intends to establish a new operation in Alaska's Yukon in 3 weeks, with both wash plants working well in the Bear Cut and delivering over 1,800 ounces of gold.
Big moment! This is what we've been waiting for and working on all day, buddy. Let's do it!
The season's success depends on both plants working, as over half the area cleared, covering 4 million square feet. Mitch must free up more land, including the Panama Canal Cut, a 10-acre cut. Mitch must dig up the only road connecting the camp to the current cutting and build a new road while maintaining critical access to the mine site after hitting frozen pieces and ice on the lone road to the camp. As they start this project, they discover the earth is frozen, aggravating the issue. Tyson informs Mitch that too many projects have left them without soil for the night shift. Parker's frequent plan modifications cause tension, but Mitch's crew is determined to finish the last 350 feet of the new road. They connect the new road just in time, allowing cars to dump pay dirt. With the new road, they can pile dirt and run wash machines. Parker's staff is under pressure to maximize gold production with limited time and resources. Machinery runs at maximum capacity as trucks load coarse tailings. Parker's all-or-nothing decisions push the crew. In 12 hours, they finish the road, enabling vital wash plant access. Mitch examines Parker's bold strategy, knowing that gold miners cannot hold gold underground. Justin and Tyson contend with frozen pay dirt impeding gold recovery in the machine. Cold spring weather makes the permafrost refuse to thaw. The frozen substance makes stripping and hauling difficult, despite their best efforts. Mitch agrees to temporarily shut down the plant to melt and strip after discussing the issue. Though risky, they believe it's necessary to maximize gold recovery over time. By freeing up labor and resources, they aim to strip more efficiently when the weather improves. The workforce prepares to melt and strip as the facility closes, knowing that their success depends on their ability to respond to challenges. They take the risk with drive and teamwork, knowing it will pay off. Parker's decision to cease operations on Big Red because of financial worries.
There you go. That's dead nuts. I just need a rock. Yukon hammer.
Is a deviation from their usual 24/7 running plan once sluicing begins. Parker takes this smart risk due to rising fuel costs and the need to boost income. Parker hopes postponing the wash plant will allow his staff to strip more land and expose it to the sun to thaw. The success of this strategy depends on good weather, which Parker is willing to risk. Nona Lovelace, the office manager turned heavy equipment operator, uses the 73-ton D10 dozer to cut through the deep permafrost. The frozen ground makes mining difficult, but Nona's passion drives her to go. Nona thinks mining is fun since you can overcome obstacles like permafrost. Due of permafrost's harshness, the D10 dozer's blade peels up, stopping progress. Big Red's downtime is compounded by this setback, placing pressure on the team to fix it soon. Technician Smith and welder Dan Colon rush to repair the D10 dozer and restore service. Their efforts show the gravity of the situation, as every moment missed means lost cash. After the suspended pay downtime, the crew resumes operations with relief and worry, despite the shortcomings. They made over $290,000 in gold during the shortened week. While this is a break, Parker knows their situation is terrible. With so much soil to process, any more delays could hurt the season. Parker Schnabel is meticulously planning to capitalize on a potentially successful pay streak with the 4-acre wolf cut on the other side of the claim. Parker wants to deliver 1,000 ounces of gold this season, so he needs to efficiently access the pay dirt, which is 30 feet underground. The crew must remove 100,000 yards of overburden to reach gold-rich soil. The approaching season makes this duty urgent and requires careful planning and hard work. The group meets many hurdles along an old dredge pond, made worse by the flooding. Parker realizes the muddy conditions are making things harder. He warns about big machinery getting bogged in the mud and stresses the significance of careful maneuvering to avoid problems. Michael Baudry, a new crew member, keeps calm despite the obstacles. Michael brings tenacity and perseverance from past adversity to the group, ready to tackle any challenge.
There with a chain on the excavator, get it up on dry ground so we could work on it. It must have shut off or the silt got in there and plugged it up.
Water escaping melting permafrost complicates excavating. This unforeseen event floods the cut with pond water, threatening their efforts. Parker and his staff plan to manage rising water levels after realizing the problem. They installed a sump pump to regulate water flow and prevent floods, allowing them to control the dig site. Parker perseveres to maximize the Wolf Cut's potential and ensure no gold extraction is missed. Mark cleverly floated the pump on old pontoons to prevent flooding. It's a race against time to rescue the season and keep the money flowing. Mitch is stressed with only 5 days to launch Slucifer. Summer seems to fly by. Mitch places Slucifer in a 30-ton pad and installs the super stacker for speedy pay dirt processing to meet Parker's deadline. Getting everything ready for surgery is a race against time. The crew races to finish Slucifer before Parker arrives from Alaska after repairing the super stacker. As they board the 120-foot super stacker, nervousness grows. However, it elevates and hits the free wash, marking a major goal. Parker is closer to digging out the 90-acre airstrip and starting his Alaska enterprise with 2 wash plants. Despite challenges, the team is determined to keep the gold flowing. An unexpected conveyor blowout halted production, but Parker's crew quickly restored it. Big Red continued to extract gold from the Easy Street cut, securing revenue. Chris detailed their earnings, showing a considerable increase over last year. Having the super stacker at the cut is a big step toward making Slucifer operational. Mitch and his colleagues work hard to cover every detail because failure could slow them down. The conveyor plug occurrence shows that mining always has obstacles. Parker's quick thinking and the team's resourcefulness allow them to solve the problem swiftly, demonstrating their flexibility to unexpected conditions. The crew's recent successes and future prospects keep them upbeat despite their problems. When they hit 1,500 ounces for the season, they feel accomplished. Parker warns them that the Alaska operation is coming up.
Hustling.
You got it pumping, huh?
Yeah. The more you start revving it, the faster it goes, but the chance of it blowing up gets a lot better.
The crew knows their success depends on their ability to stay focused and go forward under difficult conditions. Parker and his team are driven by purpose. Despite challenges, they are committed to a record-breaking season. Mud pits and equipment failure have plagued Parker Schnabel and his gold hunting team. They persevered through determination and resourcefulness, showing their unrelenting commitment to success. Parker's leadership and hands-on attitude have helped the team overcome mining's complexity and create confidence in their ability to succeed. Parker remains certain that the work will be beneficial as they open new cuttings and push through the toughest terrain. Parker Schnabel's gold search is looking good with a new Alaska operation and promising results. Do you like this content? Subscribe and follow us for more.
Parker makes a choice that seems to have hurt him more than he thought it would. He is driven and wants to make that big break. As if Parker Schnabel wasn't having enough money, the harsh Alaskan environment is too. His goals have cost him everything, so he is about to fall. In this game of gold rush, every choice can make or break a season, and it's too much to handle. Parker is going bankrupt. So is the gold rush over? Come along with us as we go over the specifics. Episode 4 of Season 14. The show called Free Agent has many exciting moments. First, Parker has gone to Dominion Creek, a famous claim worth over $15 million that is full of opportunities, but also dangerous places. Parker has lost all of his money in his crazy search for gold. Gold panners worked on it in the early days of the Klondike. It's said that this 4-acre monster has a long past and is the site of several gold stories. It's no longer easy to get what you want, though. Parker is looking for gold, but it has been covered over for a long time and is deep. Both time and the harsh environment of the Klondike say this. The past has been dug up from the depths of this hidden treasure by people. It's not a walk to look for the goods in the frozen park. But Parker also faces a huge pile of problems. The ground here is twice as deep as he thought it would be, so he has to move a lot of dirt and spend a lot of money on big machines. Every day that went by, he wasted more money than he had, and the amounts added up quickly. The harsh Alaskan winter, with its blinding blizzards and freezing temperatures, adds to the difficulties of the task. Parker is always up for a task, so he gives this his all. He moves in next to Dominion Creek, which used to be quiet and peaceful, with his trusty backhoe, the Beast, and a group of trucks and other heavy equipment. The area is now full of people who are digging for gold. He uses high-tech methods like high banker mining and careful data analysis to give himself every edge in the search. Gold isn't the only thing that can change in this situation, of course. His team, old miners and friends, are also important to his success. From Mitch's careful turning to Rick's never-ending driving, each member brings something to the group by using their own skills and unwavering dedication. Even though there was a lot at stake, Parker's eyes lit up with excitement, and he looked to the future. He hopes that Dominion Creek will become his El Dorado, his paradise for digging for gold, and his launching pad for financial success. His $15 million bet is weighing heavy on his mind. Will Parker's risk pay off? Are the gold hunters of the Klondike going to remember him if he gets rich? Will the hard, harsh ground and the stress crush all of his dreams? It's pretty clear how to answer these questions. He is about to go bankrupt, which means his job is in danger. But let's take a closer look at the truth before we jump to any assumptions. Does Parker Schnabel, the young Klondike cartel boss, really find himself in a financial mess? That being said, it's clear that the last few years have been tough for him, but announcing his bankruptcy may come too quickly. Parker must not have any more money because he decided to bet so much on the huge claim in Dominion Creek, which costs $15 million. The ground is much deeper than thought, and it will take a lot of work and huge machines to dig it out. Winter comes and makes things even harder. His budget is already very tight, but every day it gets even tighter. But Parker's true financial problems will never be known for sure, even though there are a lot of rumors that he is about to run out of money. But delays in getting gold and the size of the Dominion Creek business have put his resources to the test. Still, it would be wrong to talk about bankruptcy as something that is about to happen. Parker is a smart businessman who always does what's best. He has a history of making it through tough economic times and a large group of investors and allies behind him. Also, some of his old mines, like Scribner Creek and Eureka, are still making gold and protecting him. It's more possible that Parker is going through a process of reorganizing its finances. He might have to renegotiate loans, look for new investors, or even shut down the business. This wouldn't end Gold Rush's hopes of moving to the north. Instead, it would help him get used to his new home. Parker's journey has always been marked by fighting through hard times. On the other hand, he has been let down and gone beyond its limits. It was possible for him to make his way through the harsh Klondike. He is very determined and creative, which are two of his best traits that will help him get through these tough times. One thing is for sure though, Parker's story is far from over. After all, Dominion Creek is for the long run, and it has huge potential. Returns may seem low at first, but a big gold strike could change everything. While this is going on, Parker's case is getting a lot of attention, but the gold rush is really about a lot of different miners and their problems and successes. That being said, it would be too soon to say that Parker is done, even though there are concerns about his finances. People say that when things are bad, you have to do crazy things. In the case of Parker Schnabel, the saying is very true. He goes after a claim again that looks like it has nothing left, hoping that it has a valuable prize that can save his money. If you take this chance, it's risky, no matter how much it pays off. Parker may be grasping at straws to save his life if the frozen earth fails to produce. This could mean even more financial trouble for him. Now is the time to buckle up and stay put, because the next part is about to start. What could the shovel find? You never know what might happen, right? We could also catch a glimpse of Tony Beats's major logistical problem at the Klondike from last week's show. He gets excited and decides to try to make money in the risky Indian River claim. There is a winding, muddy road and steep, dangerous hills waiting for him. Bad moods and curse words are everywhere, and there are flakes and a rock in the trip. Even though it's small, it's a good start to the season. Even so, the creeks are still full of water, which makes Tony's golden dreams very hard to come true. At the same time, Rick Ness, the outsider who is great at coming up with new ideas, runs into a problem that makes it harder for him to reach his 1,000-ounce goal. A tire blows out on his trusty old loader, which is what powers their trio machine. They get stuck and need Parker's help. One more person on Rick Ness's team is in a different kind of fight. A man with trust problems and a troubled past who seems like a good fit for the crew for other reasons wants to get a job because he is desperate for work. Rick is always hopeful though. and he thinks that the man could be the gift that helps them reach their big goal. Will this risk pay off, or will it cause other issues that put the whole business at risk? We don't know what will happen to each worker in the future. Can Tony get to his claim despite the dangerous roads? Will the new person Rick hired really help them reach their goal? Will this risk save Parker Golden or cause him to lose even more money? There have been times in the past when it seemed like a miner was about to go bankrupt on the show, but it never did. Almost bankrupt times. Like the light of gold, the path to wealth in the Klondike is always just one step away from ending badly financially. As of now, none of the Gold Rush group members have gone bankrupt, but there have been many close calls. In Season 9, Episode 6, Broken, the big man Todd Hoffman, who was in charge of the Hoffman crew at the time, had to make a very hard decision. His mining dreams looked like they were going to fail as his bills grew. The gold veins ran dry, and problems started to arise within the company. In the end, though, a late finding of gold can only give people a short respite. The episode also shows how difficult it can be to keep up with money in the Klondike. Their lack of cash has hurt more than just the miners. It has hurt the whole gold mining ecosystem. In Season 8, Dave Turin, the owner of a family-run machine rental business, had to deal with falling demand and tough competition. The people who supported the rush and chaos of the gold rush are not about to go bankrupt. But hearing that Dave is fighting just to keep his business going makes us think of how fragile the finances of those who supported it were. In Season 6, Fred and Dustin, the Dakota boys, were put under a lot of pressure to open a new claim and get their money back. Chris Dumit had to keep the flag flying over his struggling business in Season 7. No matter if these cases ended in bankruptcy or not, they all show the worries about money that were common in the Klondike gold mine world. These are some of the ones that got a lot of attention. Some bad things happened at the beginning of Season 14, but there have been great finds that have brought us happiness, joy, and, of course, money. Things of value found during Season 14. Though Season 14 of Gold Rush has only just begun, no one has yet claimed to have the biggest gold nugget. Still, some of the amazing discoveries have already been printed in newspapers. Parker's team found a big 57-ounce nugget named Chunkster in Episode 2. Even though it wasn't the biggest find of the season, it was a huge return to form for the experienced prospector, who had just recently gotten over money problems and pressure from people who didn't like how Paradise Hill was run. He needed this discovery to give him hope, and it confirmed his opinion that his claim was full of gold. He has also been to Klondike many times, but has yet to leave the season with his share of gold. Even though none of these nuggets are huge, Tony does well every time he gets a hold of one because he is focused and has a lot of experience. He has learned that the keys to high returns, which change from year to year, are good planning, hard work, and keeping an eye on the long game. The team led by unconventional dredge miner Rick Ness was paid for their hard work in Episode 8. It turned out that they had found a beautiful 30-ounce nugget. This was good for Rick and his team's morale, and a good message to everyone that gold can be found almost anywhere. This find gave them a lot more gold for the season. As the season goes on, the search for the golden rock is still going on. Who will find the big nugget of the season? Is it going to be one big dragon or several smaller ones? Time will tell. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to get more. Click the video on your screen to see more mind-blowing movies while you're still here. In Gold Rush Season 15, Parker and his team have found something very scary. They were unable to say anything. Check out what went down. Age 28, Parker Schnabel drives a truck into the new house he just bought. He bought Dominion Creek with all the money he had, so he is now broke. As time goes on, he loses more and more money. To make up for it, he sets high goals for his team. Since the season started 3 weeks ago, Parker's team has dug up more than 4 acres in the money pit. Parker is determined to make the team work harder this time because he has such a big goal. That's right, he's going to dig up another 4 acres of land in just 3 days.
My goal is to keep the 211s ripping.
When he tells his team this, they all try to figure out what he means because the money needs to keep coming in for the whole season. Parker wants to find at least 6,000 ounces of gold by the end of the season. This will earn him $160 million, which he will use to come back next year and keep the digging going this year. Parker tells his group what they need to do, and then they get to work. Damian Brown, a veteran miner, quickly tells the rest of the crew where they need to start digging and how to be most productive. Before the snow melts, the team needs to mine fast. If they wait, it will take longer for them to move from one area to another. After the oil is extracted, Jacob moves the extra rock to one side while Caden uses a 750 excavator to put the waste into the trucks. The team is working non-stop to finish on time. Jake thinks the truck is stuck somewhere on the way back. The truck finally goes through, which is good, but he hears a strange sound that makes him think something is wrong. When this happens, the truck driver needs to look into the noise to avoid more problems. Jake gets out of the truck and sees that the skid plate is hanging off of it. He calls Mitch right away to tell him what happened. Mitch calls Bill, the handyman, because the team needs to fix this right away. These two people work hard and quickly fix the skid plates by straightening them with the digger. The team will get back to work after that. At the same time, Rick Ness is having a hard time in the Duncan Creek area. Ness's mother died in 2018. Because of this loss, he was so sad that he had to stop gold digging and work on getting better. He went home to take care of himself because he didn't feel understood or heard. Ness had a terrible accident in the 10th season that broke his jaw and knocked out many mission teeth. Having to deal with all of these problems has made him the strong man that his fans know him to be. No changes were made to the original sentence, as it is already grammatically correct. After being at the camp for a few months, Zaremba has to drive back today, which is sad. He thinks Ness is ready to keep working, even though he doesn't trust her and doesn't have any extra money to hire more people. Zaremba should have stayed longer, but Ness is ready to go back to work. He knows that Ness needs to get back to his family, though. Ness had to sell his late mother's house to start the season. As security, he had to give up his camp to the owner of the land. He has already found 21 ounces of gold on the land, which is worth $42,000. As of now, Ness is living from hand to mouth and needs something useful to keep the season going. He has thought of a way to get the money he needs to do this. Ness plans to run 2 piles to get a quick score, and also to focus on the valley, which has a lot of gold. Ness only has one team member working with him now that Zaremba is gone because of his bad luck. Morgan is a gold mining greenhorn on the team. She is renting an old loader that she thinks is really slowing things down. Morgan works hard to get everything done by the due date, but the old loader is giving her trouble, and she thinks something should be done. Morgan feels like something is different in the truck all of a sudden. When she goes outside, she sees that the truck's tire is flat. Ness hears about this from her, and a sad mood comes over the camp.
I'm gonna have to shut down the plant. The loader's got a flat.
The work will be held up for a while because of the flat, and Ness might not be able to keep up his production for the season. Ness is so upset that she chooses to ask Parker for help. Ness talks about his long past with Parker as he leaves his camp. Ness worked as a digger for Parker after he bought his land when he was 17. They became fast friends, and Ness was a big help to Parker when it came to gold digging. Ness was on his way to becoming a manager when he began to fight with Parker. He finally chose to leave the camp because he wanted to be his own boss. They haven't talked in 2 years. Ness thinks Parker knows he's been missing, and he's excited to catch up with Parker. Parker is there when Ness gets to the camp. After hearing about Ness's problems, Parker told him that he was sure he would get better because he had been through a lot himself. He's had some time to think about things, and Ness says that one thing he learned was that he had given Parker some of his best years. Parker likes this because Ness has taught him a lot. Ness tells Parker why he's there. He needs help with a loader that Parker isn't using. As it turns out, Parker bought the camp with $2 million worth of gear, most of which is still not being used. Parker presents Ness with a loader that is not in use. The two of them test it to see how well it works. They made sure the loader works, and Ness wants to figure out how to pay for it. Parker finds it hard to talk about money with Ness. He told him to use the loader for as long as he needed to. In the fall, they would talk about paying him cash. Ness appreciates the kindness because the loader is just what he needs to reach his goal. Ness says he'll get the loader soon. The men said they would keep in touch as they split ways. As Ness leaves the camp, Parker says that what Ness said has been bothering him. Ness is only 42 years old, not 90, so he doesn't think that Ness gave him the best years of his life. To get the loader he needs, Ness is happy to meet up with Parker. But there is a big problem. Since the loader is 5 miles from his camp and weighs 35 tons, he has to pull it. But the ground is soft and unstable because the soil is melting. So even something as big as the loader can damage the roads well. Because of a government rule against such hauls, Ness has to wait at least 1 month for the ground to be stable. The Beats crew at Paradise Creek has been having a rough time somewhere else. It's been 3 weeks since the season began, and the team still hasn't started working on the ground. To keep digging that season and make money, the team needs to get at least 6,000 ounces of gold. Because of this, Tony has chosen to move the mining back to the Indian River claims. This spot has lots of gold that hasn't been mined yet, and is the fastest way for the team to catch up to the other miners and reach their goal. Moving the big tools from Paradise Creek to Indian River is the first thing that needs to be done. Their goal is 40 miles away, so this is a tough job. Also, the road they need to take is very long and dangerous. To get to the camp, you have to drive on a narrow road, go up a steep hill, and then drive down a narrow, twisting path. Mike, Tony's younger son, is here to help with the move, which makes him happy. The team had to stop mining at Indian River 4 years ago because they lost their mine permit. Now, getting permission is very important to their survival, so they are determined to do their best and start right away. The group puts everything they need into the trucks and sets out on their trip. Tony is excited about his new journey, and he likes eating the lunch that he has been bringing in the same lunchbox for more than 30 years. The group gets to the place where Mike's accident happened a year ago. He slows down his truck and tells Tony that he might not be able to finish the rising stretch because he dropped a gear. Tony tries to give Mike some advice, but Mike doesn't like being pushed around, so the two of them get into a fight. Mike's truck finally has to be dragged up the hill by another truck because Mike's is slipping. The team finally gets to the Indian River claims after a while. The team is back in Indian River after 4 years away and ready to get to work right away. As soon as possible, Ness needs to find a way to start digging because he can't wait a month. It's been 2 days now, and Ness is losing more than $8,000 a day on gold production. This is why he has asked Derek, an expert in transport, to help him. Derek is going to move the loader with his custom-built multi-million-dollar truck. The loader's weight will be spread out over its 100-foot length, which will make it less of a burden on the road. Parker's camp is where Ness meets Derek. The two of them take the truck. Derek moves it back to Duncan Creek without any problems, and Morgan can't wait to see what she has to deal with. She can tell right away that the loader is different, and she knows that this will help them get to their goal faster. In the best way she knows how, she is going to help the camp because Ness asked Parker for help. Ness didn't have to wait for 3 weeks, but he's not sure how much can be done with just 2 people. The team is working hard to make their boss happy back at Duncan Creek. The sun is out. Parker keeps losing money, even though they do everything they can, and this is making him unhappy. Chris, a gold recovery expert, comes up with a way to hopefully make Parker feel better. As he looked into things, he found that the fine tailings had some gold in them. It is the waste dirt that is left over after the gold is sorted.
We need to get a cash flow going. Anything could help right now.
He is going to gather the leftovers outside the gold box and hopefully get some gold. Parker works just as hard as his team in the money pit. In other words, 2 bulldozers are tearing up the land while 4 trucks haul away the trash. Each machine uses about 1,200 to 1,500 liters of fuel per round of this hard exercise. Liam, who drives the fuel truck, has to be ready to help out whenever he is called to refuel. In this case, Liam is getting ready to give some gas to a truck that is about to run out. The road that leads to the money pit, on the other hand, is flooded. He tells Mitch about what's going on, and Mitch drives over right away. The truck that brings fuel can't get through because the road is dug deep. Before the rest of the team can throw away the dirt, Mitch tells them to bring it over so they can help fix the road. The team needs to work hard to finish this fast. The team will lose tens of thousands of dollars because they will have to stop digging if the fuel truck can't get across. After some time of work, the road is properly blocked off, and the fuel truck drives into the money pit. Chris, on the other hand, has found enough gold to make a small bar that weighs about an ounce. He is sure that if he keeps going, he will get something else that will help loosen things up for Parker, even if it's only a little. The Schnabel crew finally reached their goal 3 days later. There are now 8 acres of land that has been dug up, which makes the team very happy. The team can now start making things while the rest of the work is still being done. This is reason to celebrate with a drink. Parker goes back to camp and meets Chris there. Chris has a gift for Parker. He gives Parker some small gold bars that are worth $18,000 and weigh 9 ounces each. Then he talks about how he found them in the fine tailings. Parks is pleased to receive his first gold from Dominion Creek. He needs more than that, though, to keep his debts low and keep making things until the next season. He tells Chris that the stress is getting to him, but he's glad that his team is doing well. Chris thinks things will get better, and all they need to do is keep going. After getting used to the Indian River claims, the crew of the Beats is ready to start digging. Tony wants to run a shaker deck wash plant, so he needs to check the old one on the land to make sure the dredge is working right. He looks at everything because he wants his ideas to help them get twice as much gold. Tony knows that they need to get some new screens and other tools to keep an eye on the digging process. But the place is in better shape than he thought. He uses the dredge to dig some dirt and finds gold. This means that the season will be better for him and his family. If you like the movie so far, please like it and subscribe to the channel. The two of them sit down in the gold room to check out what they've earned this week. For digging to keep going for another week, Ness needs at least 20 ounces of gold. He thinks that the lot they have will help them. But since it was done by two people, he isn't sure. Morgan gets the gold that was collected, and the two of them weigh it. The team is shocked and relieved when they find 20.73 ounces of gold. This is worth $42,000, which is enough for Ness to keep digging for another week. Morgan is told that they need to get some new tools and hire more people so that they can reach their goal by the end of the season. That was a summary of Gold Rush Season 15, Episode 3. The miners are all set on doing the best they can to make as much money as possible from their land. Thanks for seeing it. We'll see you in the next show.